These are the live pictures coming into us now. As you can see there, people are...
A total of 37 people, including 23 children, were killed in an attack that has shocked the nation.
When the news broke yesterday, how did the nation react to it? What were some of the things that came to your mind?
The suspect was taken to Patwon police station to be interviewed in a unit for children.
Happening in Bangkok, the capital, when this is the economic hub of the nation.
Seeing people streaming out of one of the busiest and most popular malls in Bangkok, and that is...
A deadly slaying in a Bangkok mall, allegedly by a 14-year-old, has again exposed Thailand's armed crime problems, with police selling arms onto the black market and a youth culture that celebrates arms among the driving factors. Arresting the boy. After 2 individuals were slayed in a slaying at a crowded luxury mall in the central area of Bangkok, an arrest has been made of a youngster who is only 14 years old. According to Torsak Sukvimal, the national police commander of Thailand, a Chinese national and a Burmese national were among those who were slain in the incident that took place at the Siam Paragon Mall. 5 other persons were hurt during the incident. It is unknown what their condition is. According to Torasak's statements to the media, the suspect had a history of mental health issues but did not take any of the required medication. He reported that the suspect was in a disoriented state and could not communicate well.
A total of 37 people, including 23 children, were killed in an attack that has shocked the nation.
He seems to have a psychological issue. He is receiving treatment at Rajaviti Hospital.
The suspect is a 14-year-old boy who has entered the mall wearing khaki pants.
Earlier estimates from emergency services placed the number of fatalities at 3. Siam Paragon is one of the most well-known and opulent shopping malls in Thailand. It is also a well-liked attraction for tourists. As soon as they heard gunfire, hundreds of people ran out into the streets in the downtown area of Bangkok. A member of the crew can be seen ducking for cover beneath a dessert counter in a video that was uploaded on social media. The footage was supposedly filmed in the food court, located on the ground floor of the building. The suspect was taken into custody by the police just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The video showing the moment the suspect was arrested by police showed the young suspect crouching down and putting his hands up in the air before he was taken into custody. The suspect was shown in the photos lying face down on the ground, while handcuffed and wearing a baseball cap with an American flag embroidered on it. In a message on Twitter, which is now known as X, the Prime Minister of Thailand, Sretha Thavisin, stated as follows: "I am aware of the slaying occurrence that occurred at Siam Paragon and have instructed the police to investigate. The safety of the general population is my first concern." Although crimes using arms are somewhat regular in Thailand, mass slayings are extremely uncommon. However, during the past few years there has been growing worry around events of this kind. At a daycare in Uthai Sawan, which is located in the northeastern part of Thailand, a former police officer carried out an attack with an arm and knives in October of last year, slaying 22 children. Nakhon Ratchasima, located in the northeastern part of Thailand, experienced a slaying in 2020 that resulted in the demise of 29 people and injuries to 57 others. One of the locations where the slaying occurred was a shopping mall. The events have sparked a debate regarding the regulation of arms throughout the country.
Thai police say a 14-year-old suspected gunman has been arrested.
My daughter might not have enough education to help her reach the stars.
And on the other hand, there is no control over how many firearms you can own as a civilian. So you can own as many as 5.
According to Torsak, it was not clear how the young person had obtained an arm. The authorities have tried to get in touch with his parents. There were calls for an emergency SMS function that might notify the public about such slayings that were posted on social media. According to a statement released by Siam Paragon, the building was instantly cleared of shoppers and personnel by the local police and a team of security guards from the retail center. It sent its sympathies to the surviving loved ones of those who had been slayed. It stated, "We would like to express our sincerest gratitude to the police, volunteers, and our security team for their dedicated efforts in bringing the situation under control, and we agree with this sentiment wholeheartedly." Cheap arms scheme. Imports of arms are subject to Thailand's stringent supervision. As a result, merchants are only allowed minimal annual quotas and must contend with prohibitively high pricing. Buyers must be over the age of 20, submit to a background check, and provide a cause for arm ownership. such as for the purpose of self-defense or hunting, in order to lawfully purchase an arm. However, due to a so-called arm assistance program that is sponsored by the government,
How is the government going to tackle this? Lots of questions to be asked.
The suspect was taken to Pathwoman police station to be interviewed in a unit for children.
It's not just about attracting the crowds in the evening. It is in the heart of downtown Bangkok.
hundreds of thousands of arms have been brought into the kingdom, most of which have come from the United States. The real issue was the arm welfare program. Michael Picard, an independent researcher who specializes on small arms proliferation and corruption, told AFP, the real issue was the arm welfare program. As part of the program, government employees are eligible for price reductions on privately owned arms and are permitted to purchase arms from their respective agency, rather than going through the standard licensing procedure for civilians. And despite the fact that there are limits placed on the amount of arms and rounds of ammunition that a private individual can purchase, those restrictions do not apply to the assistance program. This leads to a dangerous status quo in which some cops sell their discounted guns onto the black market for profit, said Picard.
He didn't resist arrest. We do not know any further information on no further information.
It wasn't just children who died. 13 adults also lost their lives to the killer.
At least 3 people have been killed in a shooting spree at a shopping mall in Bangkok.
This status quo is dangerous. Following the attack on the nursery, the police department declared the program would be put on indefinite hold, warning reporters that some officers were engaging in unethical behavior by reselling arms. However, a police source told AFP that the plan was still active and operating normally. Junior and low-ranking policemen could not afford the guns, they stated. The guns were stolen. They estimated that purchasing arms privately would cost them a total of 100,000 baht, whereas purchasing arms through the welfare program would only cost them 30 to 40,000. In addition, many police choose to use their own arms rather than risk the severe penalties that come with damaging or losing an official handgun. Policemen who want guns can bring their own cash or loan money from police cooperatives, the source continued. Policemen who want guns can bring their own cash or bring their own. Guns win. The aftermath of the slaying at the nursery school has not resulted in the implementation of the promised measures, which included more stringent license limitations and regular mental health exams. Before entering the force, officers are evaluated for their mental health, but once they are on the job, checkups are less frequent. During their service, it is up to their superior, who can request their own men to check from time to time, or policemen can do it individually by themselves, said the source. Multiple demands for comment from the public were disregarded by the officials of the police department.
Does this raise questions about security at Bangkok's public spaces?
Thailand for those who were killed, many of them children, when a former policeman went on a rampage at a nursery last week.
These are the live pictures coming into us now. As you can see there, people are...
Kritsanapong Phutrakul, an academic and a former police lieutenant, told AFP that it was extremely uncommon for any officer to have his arm taken away from him. According to the statements made by the police at the time, the perpetrator of the attack on the nursery, Panya Kamrab, used an arm that he had legally obtained. According to the findings of researcher Boon Wara, inhabitants of a nation where democratically elected governments have been repeatedly deposed by military coups have looked elsewhere.
On the last day of these mass funerals, families prayed before the coffins of the victims for the last time.
That resulted in the death of more than 20 children. Very devastating. You cover that story.
18-year-old boy, of course, he's a suspect at this point, but should he prove to be the gunman, confirmed that way,
whether legally or illegally, for sources of safety. She remarked that it seems as though arms emerge victorious in the end. Slaying spree or a psychological breakdown? Police said the teenager appeared to have suffered a psychological breakdown and had modified a handgun, which was designed to fire blanks, to allow him to fire live ammunition. Chaos erupted at Bangkok's luxury Siam Paragon Mall close to peak hour on Tuesday when gunshots rang out, slaying 2 women from China and Myanmar and wounding 5 others, 2 foreigners and 3 Thai nationals. Police said the teenage suspect, who was arrested unharmed later after he put his arm down, was receiving psychological treatment.
However, sometimes the situation is out of control. We need to understand it. In terms of prevention,
happening in Bangkok, the capital, when this is the economic hub of the nation.
When the news broke yesterday, how did the nation react to it? What were some of the things that came to your mind?
And had not taken his prescribed medication earlier in the day. Video uploaded to social media and broadcast on television showed a somewhat bewildered-looking long-haired youth wearing a baseball cap and speaking with police as he was being taken into custody without resistance. Thai media reported that the suspect was a student at a prominent private school. Investigators are looking into the teen's background and plan to speak to his friends, who are online gamers, about his mental state, according to reports. The suspect had a breakdown psychologically, and it fits an active shooter profile, National Police Chief Torsak Sukvamal said in a television interview. Initially, I spoke to him to calm him down. He appeared to hear someone speaking to him. He was hearing things. A noise, he said, told him to shoot, the police chief said. Slaying in the shopping center comes just days ahead of the first anniversary of the mass slaying of 35 people, including 22 children, at a nursery in northeastern Thailand, during an hours-long arm and knife attack by a former policeman who later shot himself dead. In 2020, a Thai soldier shot and slayed at least 29 people and wounded 57.
Why, what was going on? We do know now that a number of people were hit by gunfire.
Seeing people streaming out of one of the busiest and most popular malls in Bangkok, and that is
Really. And the timing of it came at a time when the nation is
in a rampage that spanned 4 locations across the northeastern city of Nakhon Ratchasima. Siam Paragon is Thailand's most famous high-end shopping mall, drawing throngs of domestic and foreign shoppers daily to its luxury stores, aquarium, cinema, and food court dining. Local news site Chaosod English reported that visitors to Siam Paragon continue to walk through metal detectors without being checked a day after the slaying. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.